Today we have Kate Carroll, and Kate is an up-and-coming entrepreneur, having been there and done that, and had a couple of successes behind her. Kate, good morning. How are you?
Hi, Barry. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast this morning. Yeah, it's lovely to speak with you. I'm excited for it.
Great. Tell me more about you and your journey.
Mhm. So I suppose I'm a law student. So I started my undergraduate degree in law in 2019 in Trinity College. And I suppose my entrepreneurial journey kind of started in 2020, kind of during the pandemic. So I started doing an innovation and entrepreneurship course in kind of um, in line with my law degree as well. So aside from my law degree, I was also pursuing that course. And I started that in 2020. And from that, then I kind of started getting more and more interested into the entrepreneurship side of myself. It was something that I definitely bonded with my mom. She is a past entrepreneur too. So during that course, I started kind of, like I said, getting more interested in it. And then
Yeah.
I suppose January 2021 was when I came up with the idea for the Warm and Toasty food truck. So I started the food truck really because of my brother, David. So David is 25, but he has an intellectual disability, which stems from Fragile X syndrome.
Okay.
So David, during COVID, a lot of his like work experience opportunities and even his day service, classes, things like that, they were all kind of put on hold or else brought online.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult for him. My mom and I were kind of watching him, I suppose, not progress socially and academically. And I really wanted to kind of create a space where he could come and work with me and I could train him and we would be together. And um, yeah, I suppose the entrepreneurship course really sparked an interest in me, but the true motivation definitely came from David.
So tell us about that journey then. You started off and, I suppose what was that like? And then, where did that lead?
Mhm. Well, I think the funny thing is that I had no previous work experience in like catering and hospitality, anything like that in the coffee industry at all. So it was really just kind of a passion of mine. Coffee shops and cafes have always been a big thing in my family. If you've got good news, let's go and celebrate with a cup of coffee. Bad news, no need to worry. Everything can be sorted out over a cup of tea and a slice of cake. So I knew that it wasn't an industry I had business experience in, but it was an industry that I had a personal interest in. And um, getting that off the ground was definitely it was definitely an experience for sure. So as I said, I kind of came up with the idea in January, and then the first thing I did was try and source a food truck.
Yeah.
So I found a company in Monaghan originally, and they were selling these kind of catering pods, and I I bought one off of that company and they organized the wrapping, things like that. So
Yeah.
it was really just a shell inside though. So there was a lot of work still to be done.
Yeah.
So after first buying the truck, then I then went on to kind of make contact with uh other people in the industry as well. So I got contacts from that company of references of people that had bought trucks from that company first. And I went around and started going to different food trucks to just talk to people. And, you'd be surprised how much people will share with you when you share your story with them. So it was really a huge learning process for me. It wasn't the entrepreneurship course really, really helped with, with my leadership skills, creating a business plan, things like that. But, I think all entrepreneurs will be able to agree with me when I say this, that you never really are fully prepared for, the process until you're in it, and until you come up against, obstacles, and, until you get your feet on the ground. So yeah, it was definitely a learning process. After kind of going around to different food trucks, then I decided that as I said, the industry that I wanted to go into with the food truck was coffee and toasties, and baked goods.
Yeah.
So I started going around to different wholesalers. Musgraves and Cisco were my main two. And I started going around to different coffee companies as well. And it was a lot of, trial, like a lot of kind of trial, and just talking about it with my mom and with friends, and getting my friends and family over to try, my ideas for the menu, and try out different coffees. And it was, yeah, like I said, a lot of trial and error at first. So yeah.
Sure. And where did that journey bring you from there? So you've now got a stage where you've got a truck, you're up and running, and talk us through then, what happened from the time you got up and running to, I suppose, the present day.
Mhm. Well, I suppose I started off in a soccer club here in North County Dublin. And I was there from kind of the end of April, beginning of May 2021, until the end of that summer. So it was, or actually, sorry, Barry, that's incorrect. It was probably May 2021 to maybe mm, June, end of June, something like that.
Yeah.
And it started off well. Business was good, say at the weekends when there was matches or training on, but the footfall wasn't brilliant during the week.
Yeah.
And one thing that I learned along the way was, when it comes to permits or licenses, it's a lot easier for food trucks to set up on private property,
Yeah.
because to set up on private property, you just need the permission from the owner of the land, or the business that you're setting up outside.
Yeah.
So whereas if you go to, say, parks, or if you look towards, say, going down the county council route and applying for licenses or trading licenses, things like that, it's a long process, and there's not a huge amount of options when it comes to sites, and also when it comes to operating hours. So setting up on private property was definitely the right choice, because we were able to work later, and we didn't have to go through the expensive, lengthy route of applying for a license. So it started off well, but then after a little while, we kind of realized that, it wasn't growing the way my mom and I wanted it to,
Yeah.
and the way, yeah. So we actually ended up moving to our truck to Skerries here in North County Dublin. So it a lot of just cold calling, really physically actually just knocking on doors to find a spot to trade. And, it's something I would share with all entrepreneurs or people looking to get into the food truck industry, is that, sometimes rejection can be redirection. Sense that, don't take the first no as a sign that you're not meant to do this, because I got a huge amount of no's when it came to finding a spot to trade. I was sending out maybe 10, 15 emails a day, as I said, cold calling people. And it actually came, the training spot in Scaries actually came out of a message that I put up on a community board on a Facebook page. So
Okay.
you just never know when opportunity will strike. So after moving out to Skerries, then it was great, because we really were welcomed by the local community there. And
Yes.
I think part of the reason for that was because we started making monthly donations to a disability day service in the community there.
Yeah.
And we really shared our story with the customer too. David was working with me, and they could see that, I was training him, and the opportunities it was bringing to him, even though he has an intellectual disability. So It was, I think it was really our genuine appreciation and our, you know, our ability to be very authentic with our customers and sharing our story and our reasoning for being in the community that helped progress Warm and Toasty and helped it to grow. Mhm.
Okay, and
So,
where are you now? Like, so that's you moved from, one place to another, and of course the whole logistics of doing that can be complex and complicated. But as you stated as well, when it comes to, an entrepreneurial journey, the
mhm,
challenges are always going to be there, but it is the desire and passion. And like what you said, whether
absolutely.
it's phone calls or whether it's cold calling, you have to do what you have to do. And then the opportunity comes out of that, but not necessarily where you thought it might have been in the first place.
For sure, definitely. And then as time kind of progressed, then um we expanded the menu, we grew our sales and we really developed real friendships with our customers too. And I it was amazing to see that happen. What started off as, someone coming for their daily coffee, turned into a lifelong friendship. So it was an incredible journey. After a while then, it was probably, yeah, it was kind of September 2022 then that I made the decision to close the business, and be just simply for the fact that it was time for me to return back to university, and my mom wanted to pursue different career options as well. But it was truly, an exceptional experience, and the benefit that really came out of it for David in terms of, building his CV and his work experience, and also giving back to the local community through the donations to the Disability Day Service was, wonderful. And the whole point of Warm and Toasty really was to focus on um, showing people in the local community, but also, in the wider community as well, that people with disabilities belong in all sorts of working environments, and that it really just takes, time and patience with people to, help them achieve their full potential. With Warm and Toasty as well, my mom and I wanted to create kind of like a social hub
Yeah.
for the people using the local disability service to come to. So, it was incredible because David made so many friends out of it as well. People that we had never met before were coming to the food truck and hanging out there with David and with us, and they really felt like it was a safe space to just be themselves. We even had, people coming from, we had family contact us through social media, different families contact us through social media. We had people come out to the truck because they had seen us, say, in a Love in Dublin article or on Dublin Live, and they had heard our message, and they came with their family members and spoke to us about how tough it is for them to access work experience opportunities for their family members and things like that. So, and it was really, motivating and encouraging to see the impact that we were having on people, and kind of showing them that anything is possible, and that there are people out there who, are just trying to, make a difference, I suppose, in the world of disability services.
Yeah. Yeah, no, look,
Mhm.
some of the stuff you've gone through is, really phenomenal. The fact that, you had a different motivation behind you for what you were doing. And of course, you had an interest in the entrepreneurial world, which is even better. And then the fact that you got involved with your family is even better again. But what's I suppose, the future look like for Kate Carroll? Like, what is it that, you intend to do from now going forward?
Mhm. Well, I think, I'm finishing off my undergrad this year. And I do intend to pursue my career in law after I finish university. But, one of the things that I think I learned from Warm and Toasty, and it's only really through doing, legal internships and going back into the law world now that I realize how much of an impact Warm and Toasty had on me and the skills that I developed from it, and what I'll bring into whatever industry I decide to pursue from now on. I think what I love about kind of the crossover between the work that I was doing as the business owner of Warm and Toasty and then also the work that I do like in the legal world is that, with Warm and Toasty, I had, like I said, no prior experience when it came to the food industry. So I had to, figure out what HACCP qualifications I had to, undertake and what insurance I had to get and, what health standards I needed to follow. And I took that really seriously. And I love now that kind of going back into the corporate world, I get to do that for, other businesses and help find new pieces of legislation that they may to implement into their own companies or, new regulatory practices that they need to follow. So yeah, it's been a great kind of a crossover, I suppose, something that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
I think as well, I always see myself doing something, that I'm getting into sort of a passion project outside of my daily work as well. And I've been able to do that through my work with a new association that I'm a part of called Airspace, which was set up by a group of mechanical engineering students here in Trinity College. And I'm the safety officer and kind of legal advisor for the group. Airspace is a rocketry association. So we aim to basically create an outreach program for students in secondary schools and primary schools across the country. And we want to go around and kind of uh, share our knowledge on aerospace and rocketry and help them kind of get a foot in the door in that industry. It's, it's a growing industry across Europe, but in Ireland, there's not a lot of focus on aerospace actually. And there's only 2 university courses in Ireland that actually focus directly on aerospace. So yeah, that's something that I'm a part of now. So I think I always aim to kind of keep my entrepreneurial values with me as I go through life going forward for sure.
I think, look, when you look back at even on your journey, desire, passion, and persistence comes into mind because, you've went with what you wanted to do, you've got lots of experience behind your belt as a result of doing that. And then it's also, it sounds like it's allowed you to, develop more on what your love is, which is law. And that
Mhm.
you can actually, now correlate both together and use that to your advantage and benefit going forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely, Barry.
Yeah, Kate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for sharing your story. We've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope the listeners will also enjoy it too.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you very much. And I would really encourage anyone looking to get into an industry or, like the food truck industry or, who are thinking about taking the leap and becoming an entrepreneur to definitely do it. It's such a valuable experience and, it's very fulfilling. Absolutely.
Right. Thank you very much, Kate.